What's the deal with those ancient Egyptian symbols? Hieroglyphics may be one of history's most famous writing systems, but it's also one of the most misunderstood. What exactly are hieroglyphics? The word hieroglyphic comes from two Greek words, which together mean sacred carvings. And that's a pretty accurate description, since the Egyptians themselves called their writing system medhu, which means to inscribe or to carve in hieratic script. Hieroglyphics were used for monumental inscriptions, that is, carvings into stone, as well as for writing on papyrus or paper using ink. They were used by the ancient Egyptians from around 3200 BCE until the 6th century CE, a span of more than 3,000 years. The Egyptians used hieroglyphics to decorate their temples, their tombs, and other monuments. These carvings often told stories or conveyed messages. But because the system was so complex and time-consuming, only the elite could read and write it. Most people couldn't even sign their name. As with any language, there were symbols for basic concepts like mountains, rivers, and animals. But the Egyptians also developed more abstract symbols, representing ideas like power, wisdom, and evil. In addition to these abstract concepts, they also had a symbol for every single thing. So if you wanted to write the word cat, you could just put down a picture of a cat. But if you wanted to write the word justice, you would have to use a more abstract symbol. Hieroglyphics remained the language of Egypt for over 3 millennia. But after the fall of ancient Egypt in the 6th century, nobody used it anymore. It died out completely. For centuries, Europeans knew about the Rosetta Stone, a slab of black granite inscribed with a decree issued by the priests of the Egyptian city of Memphis in 196 BC. But nobody could figure out what the strange symbols meant. That is, until 1799, when a French soldier discovered the Rosetta Stone. During a campaign in Egypt, the discovery of the Rosetta Stone gave Europeans a key to unlocking the mysteries of ancient Egypt. But it wasn't easy. The stone was covered in hieroglyphics, but it also had the same text written in 2 other languages, Demotic, a kind of shorthand used by ordinary Egyptians, and Greek, the language of the ruling class. Scholars realized that the text in the 3 different languages must mean the same thing. So if they could just translate from Greek to Demotic, then they could compare the 2 versions and find matches. From there, they could start to piece together what the hieroglyphs might mean. It took a team of scholars nearly a decade to translate the Rosetta Stone from Greek to Demotic. But in 1814, a French scholar named Jean-François Champollion finally cracked the code. He published his findings in a book called, wait for it, Precursor to the Egyptian Language. With Champollion's translation as a guide, other scholars quickly began to understand more and more of the hieroglyphic language. Champollion's greatest contribution was figuring out how to read the phonetic signs, the symbols that stand for sounds. Once scholars understood how to read these symbols, everything else made sense. They could begin to read entire sentences and eventually entire books written in hieroglyphics. Today, we can read thousands of ancient Egyptian texts thanks to Champollion's work. We've learned about their culture, their religion, and their daily lives. We know about their pharaohs and their gods. We've seen how they farmed the land and raised their cattle. We've even read their love poems. Thanks to Champollion, we can finally understand the language of the pharaohs. In addition to Champollion's groundbreaking work, the internet has also made it possible for anyone to learn about hieroglyphics. There are online courses, tutorials, and even games that teach you how to read the ancient Egyptian language.